Hey guys, you're watching BTech. I'm Basil, and this is a low light shot recorded on the LG V30 on the left hand side and a Mate 10 on the right. And the LG V30 can get super wide or a little bit wide and regular field of view. It's a wider angle than the Mate 10 is, can move around a little bit, all handheld, so you should be able to gauge how they react. You're also going to get a good light sample from the front camera and a bad light sample from the rear camera and a good light sample from the rear camera. Enjoy! Okay, so let's start this comparison off. It's pretty terrible lighting. You can see as I point up at the sky, pitch black, but there is a lot of artificial light going on around me, making it very difficult for the camera. I could, for example, point it in that direction, which is very dark, and there's going to be a lot of noise created crossing the road, so I get even closer to this kind of like very not well naturally lit area, and by contrast you've got some pretty high highlights going on right there. So first thing I can do is test out the zoom. I'm going to walk back a little bit, see the signs right there, pinching all the way on the LG V30, pinching all the way on the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, and can tap through on the bottom part of the sign. The V30 gets a little bit closer and you guys can gauge which is actually sharper. Pinch out all the way. We can also test what the widest angle of view is. So the V30 obviously has that 120° second lens, gets super wide. Tap through on the regular lens, however, and they're about the same, around the same. I would say, if anything, the Mate 10 Pro is a little bit wider in angle, but that might not be the case. It might just be the fact that these two screens are different aspect ratios. So now what I can do is I can test out some extreme lighting variances, see how quickly exposure shifts from one side to the other, and focus in mediocre light. So these are the same distance, they're basically getting a different half of the sign, pulling as closely as I can, and I'm not tapping the screen. I'm going to wait for it to all focus all by itself. Now I'm going to tap the screen on the Mate to help it along, and the V30 Mate's able to get a little bit closer, yeah, so the Mate has a closer focal range. Both, if I tap through and let them focus, produce a beautiful amount of background blur, and that is unsurprising given the f1.6 apertures across the two. You can let me know how the speakers sound, but now on to the next test. And now for some good lighting videos. You can see we've got a brick wall in front of me. The reason I'm facing a brick wall is because it's a really good example as to exactly how wide the wide angle view lens is on the LG V30 given its structure. It's also combined with some perspective stuff so that we can also gauge a much broader shot as well, and it's combined with my very delayed train. Never mind, it's giving me an opportunity to record this video. So first off, we can test closest focal range, can get as close as we can on the pipe and on those grubby little bits on the wall, tap through onto the grubby little bits, tap through on the grubby little bits, and it looks like the Mate 10's focus is a little bit more auto, and it also gets that little bit more close than the LG V30. But you can see, based on what's going on screen, the V30 looks like it's exposing or metering a little bit better. It looks maybe a little bit overexposed on the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, but that's on these screens. Both AMOLED screens, but very different, as we've established. The LG V30 screen is the same as that used on the Google Pixel 2 XL. So let's test out exposure shifting. Point at the sky, point down at the ground, point at the sky, point down at the ground. And in terms of focus, how quick are they to refocus on close-up objects? None of them are auto-focusing. They look like they have locked their focus. So let's tap through. 3, 2, 1, tap. And they both seemed pretty snappy. 3, 2, 1, tap. Bam. So that should have given you an idea as to how that stacks up. Now let's test out the zoom. So we've got a pinch to zoom set up on both. So up to 6 times zoom on the Mate 10 Pro at full HD video. Can try and focus on the same object, pointing them in the same general direction. It looks a bit grainier on the screen of the LG V30, but it is pulling in closer. So if we kind of try and lock on the same specific point, can pinch out all the way, and we can see right there, we've got that little bit of chipping into or paint on the wall, and we can see how different the maximum zoom is. So that should give you a comprehensive overview as to how the front and the rear cameras perform in bad light and in good light, save for, of course, a little bit of selfie action, so I can sign this off in very, very good lighting. Wrapping up indoors in pretty decent light, we've got the Mate 10 and the V30. At the end of the day, I've had a look at the footage, and I have to say I was pretty disappointed in the V30's front camera, but the microphones are pretty nice and sensitive, more so than the Mate 10's. I haven't really listened too closely, so you'd better let me know which one you think actually sounds better, not just which one's louder. And I'd be really keen to also know what you think of the picture quality of the rear cameras. What's also interesting about the Mate 10, and I'm guessing it's the same for the Mate 10 Pro, when you're in regular mode on the selfie camera, it isn't a particularly wide angle. It's the same with the view as V30. The V30 has a wide angle mode, kind of. You see I'm just stepping in between the two now. But if I stop the recording on the Mate 10 and switch to beauty mode, it's widened the angle to pretty much the same width of view as found on the V30. So I'm guessing they have the same wide angle, but both of these crop into your face. What's also cool is beauty mode can live beautify your face. So I've just flicked it up a little bit, and then I've flicked it down to make my face look like it normally looks. Generally speaking, front camera Mate 10 is for the win, but yeah, I haven't checked too closely on the rear camera, so let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, found it useful. If you did, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'll be trying to get a lot more of these types of comparisons out, because I know that not that many channels do them, and you guys have said you find them really useful. Thanks for watching, be checked.